You have decided to join a race to ask the Lady Solara one question of unlimited scope, on the presumption that she will have a complete and sensible answer for you, which, based on the kinds of people who are your opponents, seems to be the case. And as a matter of fact, you got to get a good look at your opposition this last session. The up-and-coming elven captain, the hard-bitten veteran Scrow captain, your good friend Milana, who you last saw sailing away in an elven armada ship, and let's see, Corindra the Devil's Daughter, a female tiefling who seems to be in the pirate life for the fun and the freedom of it.
Yarhar fiddle-dee-dee.
Yes. And also Dorakas the Ancient.
That was a good conversation.
A lich who seems to be entering the race for the sake of his villainous machinations.
A lich who astral projects when he can't stand a conversation.
Wouldn't you?
Ah, if I fucking could.
So, at the end of the session, the race was on. And all of Mynth space was yours to search. You have decided that Pelth would be the first.
Bobbin
Yeah,
did say his net was acting up. I forgot.
Oh.
Yeah, you missed that.
Bobbin was sounding a little spooky.
Yeah, Bobbin's net is acting up today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was acting up yesterday too.
That sucks.
But as I was trying to say, you've decided that Pelth would be a good first place to visit, since the outer planets rotate or orbit at a slower pace, and you're going to have to go out of your way to get there at some point.
Just seemed like the most logical thing to do.
Mm-hmm. So, you aren't immediately beset by pirates or Scrow or elves as you exit the station and start heading away from Mynth. And,
Are we beset by the cold loneliness of space?
well, that's a personal choice.
That's right, I did bond with the captain of the Scrow over my hatred of elves.
I had a drink with the pirates. They were pretty fun.
They were lovely people.
Do you think they know any shanties?
Probably.
Oh, 100%. They are walking stereotypes.
They probably know space shanty. Or
Mm.
weirder than
An advanced form of shanty.
Yes.
They're just normal shanties, but about space.
We're whalers
say-
on the moon.
I would also say that the Scrow and Elf crews would also know shanties. I mean, it's not a stereotype when it is the best way of passing time on a ship.
It's true.
Well, maybe for you guys, but Aurelia has better things to do.
And yeah,
I mean, she
sort of
likes
the way-
singing, but you know, she likes to be the center of attention when she's singing. Group singing is not really for her.
Well, all right.
Billy will stick with reading and liar's dice.
So, like I said, everybody is a bit more concerned with putting their own plans into action than to immediately sabotage each other.
Yeah,
And I just wanted to say that Relosa mentions that from what she's heard, the initial moments of a race are, in some years, they got quite bloody.
Fair.
I mean, it doesn't make
Like-
sense to like sabotage people when they have no.
Well, sure, but at the same time, if you destroy one of the other ships that has to be present when you win the race, then there's no way they're going to win the race.
Mhm.
The problem is, the reason nobody does it so much anymore is because, well, your own key ship is also present right there and then.
Yeah. I mean, seems like an unnecessary risk, really. You're hurting one of your competitors, but you're risking your own.
Yeah. And luckily, it didn't get worse during the Unhuman War, mostly because the Skrull weren't allowed here at that point.
Right.
By the way, how much do you guys know about the Unhuman Wars?
The name.
Not a damn thing.
Are those the wars between the elves and the Skrull?
Well, kind of. In one case, but not really in the other, because the Skrull exists because of the first Unhuman War. Like, there was this big conflict between the elves and the goblinoids, and that included the orcs and ogres and such, just all the usual suspects, so to speak. And they got chased out of known space. The elves won a complete victory. And then I guess the orcs decided that, you know, it kind of sucked to lose so hard, so they found a new god, embraced a new way of life, one that's sort of based around getting ready for fighting and not just fighting when you feel like it. And they came back as a disciplined army, and they called themselves a Skrull, just orcs backwards.
Right. Oh, so that was intentional. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, didn't really have anyone to like kind of tell them that that's dumb.
It's pretty
Well,
stupid.
To hear them say it, they want to acknowledge their past while proving that they're moving in a new direction.
Right. So they wrote their name backwards. Very. I mean, were they 12 when they come up with this, or like?
Well,
It's fine. It's interesting.
I mean, you go backwards to the whole live now, which are already going backwards. You're going forwards.
Their new god. I'm a little curious about that. What's the new god they found exactly?
You know, I can't just remember the name offhand, but well, it's a god of war and discipline, and the old god was just a god of anger and killing and
I see.
violence.
They found a like more fascist god.
So, no, I was thinking at a character they used to worship.
You're super quiet.
Huh.
Yeah, you're incredibly quiet, at least for me.
No, that's incredibly, but yeah, you definitely are quiet.
Okay,
You're a
hold on
little
second.
quiet, but then I do already have you at 162%.
I will. Go on.
But yeah, they from what I understand, they have a caste system, but one that's determined by aptitude rather than birth. And
So it's a really intense meritocracy.
yeah, and
Oh god, do they have a
about...
really complex exam system where they have to like memorize
Are we talking about the scroll?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, we're talking about the scroll.
Yes, we are talking about the scroll.
Oh, it's one of the most fascinating subjects to show up in recent years. The scroll have really made a mark on the known spheres. It's really set them apart from their ancestors.
Wait, hold on, are there unknown spheres?
Oh, absolutely. The phlogiston is full of fast-moving currents of energy and radiance, and if you enter one, you will hopefully find yourself at a new sphere. Some of the currents have return channels, others don't. Unfortunately, in some cases you can complete a circuit through the spheres. But in other cases, people have entered the fast-moving currents and never returned. Their fates forever unknown.
Ooh, dramatic.
Cool. Well, I know my retirement plan.
Getting
Okay.
lost in nothingness?
Not nothingness. Gonna find a new world.
And get stuck there.
Yeah.
I mean, for a while. Once you become a god, you can do anything, so you know.
Well, actually, that's something else that's very interesting about the phlogiston. Gods have no power there.
Wait, what does then? Hyper gods?
The flow
Magic.
itself, as far as anyone knows.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'll be fine then.
Sounds a lot like Limbo.
Well, no, there are gods who reside even within Limbo.
Yeah, no
And-
gods are
Or extreme
masters.
case of Limbo then.
No gods are masters.
But even gods can't control the place.
No gods, no masters, only. Whoa.
Well, I'm not entirely certain of well, what your intentions would be, but well, there is one other thing that's interesting about the flow. It's well, it's not like Limbo in that you could shape it with your mind, shall we say, but rather that the it is pure energy of a sort. You must douse all flames when leaving a sphere, because any flame of any size will cause the flow itself to ignite around you and explode.
Brad.
If you were to somehow fight another ship while out in the flow, a difficult proposition considering how extensive it is even compared to a sphere. One fireball, well placed, could take down a bird of prey. Not a... Or a man of war.
Huh.
And that sounds pretty rad.
Yeah, it does sound pretty cool.
You know, as long as you're not caught by the fireball, but you know.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's something to be very aware of.
We're not going anywhere near the flow. We're staying in our own sphere. It'll be fine.
Indeed,
Yeah,
indeed.
well,
There's
just in case.
really quite enough to explore just without leaving a single sphere, let alone visiting a second.
Look, it's bad enough that we've been planes hopping, alright?
At least there's no water out here.
At least it's not limbo.
That too.
I would say at least it's not the abyss, but that's our literal next stop. So.
And perhaps it's better to say it now.
At least it's not the abyss.
And you're not planning on going to the abyss anytime soon, yes?
Until this race is done.
What do you mean?
Well, my anthropology studies are limited to those that exist within the prime material plane, so I doubt I would be of any real use if we were heading there.
No,
we weren't planning on taking you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yeah, you don't have to come if you don't want to, and I'm pretty sure you don't
very
want
good.
to.
Very, very good.
I don't think you want to meet Demogorgon now. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Hurries away. Having gotten the feeling that maybe he doesn't want to stick around for this part of the conversation.
I look at him as he walks away and I go, he is probably the smartest person we've ever met in this entire journey.
I would agree, but that's also saying that we're not exactly smart ourselves.
I mean, we're literally...
not. We're willingly going to the abyss and then limbo.
I gestured towards Lily as if saying, yes, exactly.
Okay, but I mean, we're doing it to
agreement.
save the universe or whatever. I think that's worth it. I don't see anything not smart
I mean,
about
yes,
it.
it's worth it, but there's a difference. The dude knows his limits, is what I'm saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, good for him.
Whereas we test ours all the time.
We usually come out on top.
Yeah, because it's more fun.
There was the one time we got exploded, but aside from
It is
that...
more fun. I'm not disagreeing. I would never disagree. Hey, I was fine from the explosion.
I just about managed myself, but yeah, that was something.
There's something deeply satisfying about that explosion that's hard to put into words. Aside from, haha, that idiot's dead.
You know, I was thinking that. I expected you to say it. Don't know why I'm surprised by it.
So your trip out to Pelth is for the most part quiet and uneventful. Space is, well, it's a brighter place than you really expected it to be. And you're not used to seeing both the sun and the stars in the sky at the same time. But the sunlight slowly fades as you leave the inner planets and head towards the outer solar system. And at one point you're fortunate enough to see a space whale floating past, keening its telepathic whale song
Thanks, I
into
hate
your
it.
heads.
I hate it.
Cool.
That's pretty.
It's a lot bigger than any of the whales you remember seeing back on Mynth.
Well, you know, it's space. Doesn't have to worry about gravity.
You're also not quite sure how it's moving out there, but sure enough, there it goes.
I barely
Probably
know how
magic.
whales work on Mynth, let alone out in space. I'm not questioning it too hard.
It probably releases jets of compressed air.
Okay, sure. Sounds plausible.
And I mean, it only needs to adjust itself, like, when it wants to change direction. Otherwise,
I
it could
mean-
drift.
It's probably just magic or psychic bullshit.
That's
And then
more
it
like it.
can eat space krill.
Mm-hmm.
See, I've already figured out everything there is to know about space whales.
Sure, you
So
have.
knowledgeable, so smart.
Nash just kind of twitches his head a little bit at the thought he had, and then just shakes his head.
You eventually pass through the Storal Belt, and while you've heard that it's full of asteroids, you don't actually end up seeing one, at least not up close. Once you get close to the belt itself, you do spot a few points of light that are moving against the background of the stars. But then the stars are themselves moving slowly as you change locations within the sphere. They are, after all, just studs along the inner walls of the sphere, rather than glowing bodies billions of miles away. So wrap your heads around that one.
You know, I think I'm good.
But as you approach Pelth itself, Perry explains what to expect once you get closer. Well, you see, Pelth is what are known as gas giants. They are massive balls of roiling gas, rather than the solid rocks that you live on in the inner planets like Mynth. Now, unfortunately, the gas giant is full of toxic gas, the kind of atmosphere that is unsafe to breathe. However, it does have several moons that surround it, moons that range in size from that of your planet's moon to the size of Mynth itself. They are quite small by comparison to Pelth, but in terms of their own relative size, you would find them quite comfortable to live on.
Alright, time for me to start doing my thing where I start casting Scry. Bunch of different flags to try and find them.
As a matter of fact, Pelth supports 9 moons in total. And from what I understand, while they are quite sizable, they are sparsely populated, which should help our purposes. And each of the planets supports peaceful artistic communities, places where people go to serve their inspiration and express themselves in various ways.
Sounds hellish.
That's pretty great, actually.
As a matter of fact, each of them seem to support a different artistic endeavor, different specialty, if you will.
I don't think you can call things hellish if you've been to hell and know that it's nothing like it.
And Aurelia, incidentally, would be aware that the goddess Pelth is not only a goddess of art and inspiration, she has also given birth to 9 children, each of whom serve as the direct inspirers of art on Mynth.
The mutants.
Yes. That makes sense. Wait, so do people on Mynth know about the moons of Pelth? Is that something Aurelia already would have known?
The idea of gas giants and moons that don't orbit Mynth is news to you.
Fair, okay. Interesting. I wonder who came up with all of this.
Probably
Or-
the dragons.
Yeah, or exactly how it works. I mean, both I and Aurelia, I'm not actually sure to what extent
mean,
the gods that
the
she
gods-
knows about are real. I mean, Ono
Talk to
certainly
people
is.
directly, so
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, but are all the gods real? It's unclear. Aurelia does definitely believe in the gods who have talked to her directly.
yeah, it's pretty easy, isn't it?
All right, well, she will say a little prayer to Pelth just in case. You know, never hurts to be safe.
Hey, Pelth, do me a solid.
All right. Well, when you cast Scrying and focus on a Pelth flag, you quickly see it resolve within your sphere. And as the scrying sensor backs up a bit to get a little more context, you see that it is currently lying down in what appears to be the ruins of some sort of temple or holy place of some sort. There are a scattered assortment of symbolic objects that carry the same symbols, so calling it a temple is a safe guess. And as it backs up further, you see that in between the cracks of the stone is rushing water that slaps up against the sides of the sides of the crumbling architecture. And as the sensor moves around the flag, you see a pair of creatures that you've never seen in person before, but you may have heard of. So I want you to roll history.
Okay.
I believe in you. You've got this.
I mean, I have advantage on basically every roll ever, so...
Would I be able to be supervising this as well, or is it only...
Even if you... Sadly, because of the way the spell works, even if you were to look over Lake's shoulder, you would not see what they see.
Fair enough.
But, well, Lake could be describing it, but as it turns out, they don't have to. Because you recognize what these creatures are. Bodies of lions, heads of humans, wings of birds.
Oh shit, a sphinx.
Oh no.
You can see one male, one female, and they appear to be staring up into the sky. You can't hear what they're saying exactly, but you believe they are commenting on what they are looking at.
Gonna need to solve the riddle of the Sphinx.
Probably two. So we're looking for a temple that is probably near an ocean or a very large lake guarded by sphinx.
Was there anything else recognizable there? Gunesh asks.
Not that I can remember out of character, but Lakewood character else worth describing.
Well, there is that repeated holy symbol
Oh yeah,
that you're observing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I said it was a temple, but yeah, I'll describe the holy symbol that I saw.
Just write it down.
Well, that thing's down quite well. It sounds like the symbol of Morkineth.
Who?
And by the sound of things, it would most likely be on that moon, the water moon of Pelth.
I guess we're going to a water moon. Also,
I hate it.
Also, I guess locate object, since it works from like 1,000 miles away, will also help locating that particular temple.
Yep, that is something I have ready to fire when we actually make landfall.
Yeah, I figured you wouldn't waste a spell slot.
Why the fuck we gotta go to the water moon?
Because you missed the ocean adventure in the very first arc.
If it helps, the temple itself is clearly above water.
It's the little things that keep me going.
So at last you get close enough to see it. The planet Pelth, and its many moons. And rings, as it turns out. So at this point, you'll be searching, let's say, throughout the day in order to find exactly where this thing is. Now, fortunately, you don't need much. You don't need to be that far off the surface of the moon in order to move at full spell jamming speed. And between that and 1,000-mile radius for locate object. Well, how long does the spell last? Is that a minute or an hour?
10 minutes, and it's 1,000 feet.
10 minutes. Normally 1,000 feet, but in this case,
Yeah.
you can pick up a flag from much further away.
Yeah, if it's enhanced, then it's enhanced.
Yeah.
Still, it would probably require a check or two to find it quickly. And
Okay.
how many slots do you have for that level? Locate object.
Level 2, I got 3 slots. I also have 3 level 3s if absolutely necessary.
Mm-hmm. So the checks will determine how many spell slots you have to use before you find it.
Okay.
You will eventually be able to zero in on it, but with... Should it be investigation, or should I make it something wisdom-based?
Preferably wisdom-based.
I feel like it should be investigation, though.
Yeah. Do you have religion trained?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, you're relying heavily enough on a spell that I'd be willing to go for religion or wisdom instead.
yeah, you're hunting for a temple.
Well, it's more about knowing how to maximize the spell's use, but I leave it up to you to choose which bonus to roll.
Well, if I'd like to roll religion in that case, then.
All right.
Of course, I start with a 5.
I mean, you have a plus 11 to it. So, don't feel too bad, because you still rolled a 16.
Yeah.
But you are still searching a planet-sized object, so sacrifice a second spell slot and roll again.
Hopefully the DC gets easier the longer we stumble around, because we just eliminate more places that it isn't.
Yes.
I'm guessing that is another roll, though.
That is also a failure, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I believe in you. Because I'm a fool.
I
Why
believe
do you
in the-
believe me? Why
I
do you
believe-
believe in me.
I believe in the RNG. Not maybe not you, but the RNG.
I said I believe in you because I'm a fool.
Okay, someone believes in the RNG and it worked out, I guess.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, you have spent 3 spell slots then.
Yep.
But at last you get a ping. And it leads you down to a location that to Lake looks awfully familiar.
There it is.
Although at this point you are able to get a bit more context for the vision that you had. The area surrounding the temple appears to have once been a town, maybe even a city, but for the most part it's just cleared away ruins with squared sets of stone where the buildings used to be, and piles of stone and rubble and blown sand and dust covering everything, creating piles. And right up against where it meets the ocean, the Lar Ocean. And apparently when Perry told you that this was the water moon, he meant that it was relatively the water moon, because it still has continents visible when you are descending. And as he explains, oh yes, the other moons are really quite more arid than this one. But in any case, this one is certainly built around the ocean. You don't see any sort of docks, although there is the occasional pillar out in the water that may have supported them once upon a time. And the only structure with any sort of recognizable shape left is the temple, which also reaches out over the water. Finding a place to land is no real trouble, although the only real question is whether you want to land on the water or just on the ruins. There's not really anything left to disturb at this point.
And on the ruins. You don't have to go swimming that way. I mean, not that we would go swimming anyway. No fly.
Yeah, I think one of us would like to avoid the water at the very least.
You're welcome, Lily.
So, are you taking the, well, how much of the party are you taking? Like, Silky is going with you, obviously, and Harvey is busy on a different ship. But out of the guides, did you want to take any of them with you?
Do they want to come?
Oh, Orlosa definitely wants to come, and Perry seems a bit more nervous.
He doesn't have to come if he doesn't want to.
Well, he seems like he's battling between his urge to be there for what is clearly going to be an anthropological moment and not wanting to be anywhere near a pair of sphinxes.
Perry, if you're nervous, I can assure you that nothing. We won't let anything happen to you.
Well, the sentiment is appreciated, but it occurs to me that nothing will happen to me if I'm on board the ship as well.
Yeah, you don't have to come if you don't want to.
I suppose.
I would love to take a closer look at that temple.
You can come if you want to.
Well, I would like to assure you, we can absolutely keep you safe.
Yeah, we are more than capable of keeping you safe if you come.
All right. All right. But if you don't mind, I'll stay in the back until you finish talking.
It's not a problem.
Yeah, that's
Probably for the best.
yeah. Better for everyone, actually.
You have my word. I will not see harm come to you.
Yes, very good.
Hang back with me. I like being in the back too.
All right, so both of your guides, your NPC and all four of you, debark the ship, or disembark. And you step towards the temple. You've set your ship fair ways back just to avoid getting into any sort of arguments while landing, possibly. But ultimately, the moment you step up onto the tiles that had used to be a part of the temple, the two sphinxes, which had previously been observing the sky, and now that you also have that context, you can tell that they are pointing out the other moons and their locations. Well, the moment you step onto the tiles, they turn around, even though you don't think you were particularly loud or made any particular noise when you did so. And they just sort of stare at you expectantly.
Hello?
Greetings, children of Mynth and associates. What brings you to the far end of the sphere?
Well,
We need a flag.
Ah, they must mean this flag. The Gynosphinx reaches over, picks the flag up, holds it up. It's the same shape and size as the Mynth flag you had with the triangular flag, but this time the background color is sort of the same purple-red that Pelth is. And you saw it as you were coming in. Currently it's sort of a washed out blue, but that's because of the atmosphere.
Yeah, I figured.
And in the center of it is the holy symbol of Pelth. I can tell you what that's supposed to look like.
Okay.
But in the meantime, go ahead and keep talking.
Yeah, that one.
yes, that is the flag.
Indeed. What do you need it for?
Well,
I
do you want the...
believe, dear wife, that they need it to win a race.
Yeah, that.
Ah, yes, dear husband. I was trying to test them. They found this place in the first place. They found this place, despite no one coming here for the last 100 years. That seems to be a test enough. Oh, very well, dear husband. But you must admit that we can't let them have it without testing them further. Oh, of course not, dear wife. That thought was the furthest from my mind.
Do you really just have nothing better to do?
They probably don't.
We
You did
are
hear them, right?
sphinxes. We are sphinxes. It is our charge, divinely given, to guard over the ruins and artifacts set down by the gods and their children. This flag may not be exactly an artifact of the gods, but it is a prize worth winning, is it not?
You're just bored, aren't you?
It's been
The
100
Gynos-
years.
The Gyno Sphinx smiles and winks.
Yeah,
Behind her
Agnes just
husband's
looks.
back.
Yeah, Agnes just looked over his shoulder. It's been 100 years. I think I would be bored after that long myself.
Yeah.
All right. And yeah, the holy symbol is a stylized measuring scale.
Ah,
Because she is also the goddess of money and commerce.
okay.
Fair enough.
Well, regardless of our divine duties and their variations, the simple truth is that we have this thing that you want, and we demand a price, a test, in order to earn it from us. We leave it up to you to determine the means of this test. Trial by combat? Or trial by riddles?
Question: if we fail one, can we do the other?
Always.
All right. I don't see a reason to start throwing down. Then I'll leave
Yeah,
it
I
up
mean,
to-
I will also point out, even if they said no, trial by combat is kind of always an option.
This is true.
Yeah, yeah. Flags are also basically indestructible, so.
I just do the riddle for funsies.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah,
if we can't,
alright,
if we
let's,
can't figure out the riddle because we're all dumbasses, then we can do trial by combat. Whatever, who cares?
Well, it would be nice to resolve this without so much conflict.
Yeah, like, I would prefer not to get into fights.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
Perhaps.
I will point out there is another secret option. I will point this out of character. Telekinesis is really good for just taking random objects from people. So
Well, at the same time, though, it is pretty much saying, hey, I know what kind of trial I want.
yes,
It's not so good at taking things secretly, especially when they're actively holding it in their paw.
oh yeah, no, I know. I'm just saying trial by running away is also theoretically an option.
I see.
Trial by Rincewind.
Yes, I suppose.
But let's go with the riddle first. Aurelia will keep that one close to her chest.
Very well. We shall ask you 3 riddles each. First my wife, and then myself. If you fail hers, you will have to fight us both. If you fail mine, having succeeded at her trial, you will only have to face me.
All right. How many guesses do we get? Just one for each riddle?
I will make it 1 per person, per riddle.
And
You
okay,
you are permitted to discuss amongst yourselves.
there a time limit on discussion, or are we take as long?
Your race needs winning, does it not?
True.
Yeah, it's enough of a timer as is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I doubt they're in much of a rush.
Not particularly.
Again, they have been here 100 years.
At least since the last time someone visited.
If they were in a rush to do anything else, they would have done it by now.
Very well. If the terms have been accepted, then I shall start. I am the bane of cities and the ambrosia of empires. All the spheres suffer to let me exist.
One more time.
I'm just going to put
Write it
in the
down,
chat.
please.
See, I originally wanted to say time, but I don't think the ambrosia of empires would fit that. Because erode.
Hmm.
Is it people?
Do you ask that?
No. That's discussion.
I don't know.
All right, just make sure you're clear when you're making.
No. I'll be clear when I'm making a guess. If I don't say
Yeah.
I'm making a guess, I'm not making a guess.
Yeah, same.
I would wonder if it is life.
The ambrosia of empires. I mean, it's definitely something like all the spheres suffer to let me exist.
So it's everything it's something that's commonly found in every sphere. So it's not going to be
spheres being planet systems.
Yeah, like so it's not going to be something like extremely specific to, say, Eberron or,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a boon to empires, but a bane to cities, which is. That should narrow it down, but I don't know what would fit in that.
It's like, I'm sure I'm wrong, but my brain just keeps thinking conquest.
I mean, war?
Yeah, war actually does. Yeah, war does kind of fit.
Hmm.
Who wants to burn their answer first?
I mean, I will, I guess. Okay, Aurelia will turn to the Sphinx and say, is it war?
It is indeed. War brings destruction to cities. And yet, empires that stop going to war very soon crumble, more often than not. And the spheres suffer for their existence, and yet suffer its existence quite frequently.
All right.
Okay.
I am a seal, an end, or a beginning. I am a mark of death, or the start of something more.
A seal, an end, or beginning, a mark of death.
I'm not burning my guess. It could possibly be a crypt, because, like, I don't know. I don't know how to explain. But
I think it's more likely to be something more conceptual than that.
Yeah, my mind is wandering to something akin to a circle of life.
Mark of death.
What are your thoughts, Lily? You seem to be one who would know about marks of death.
Okay, first off, that's really weird to assume.
yeah, it's a thief, not an assassin.
Also, this is a riddle.
And just saying that sword is quite potent.
I think you're being a bit too literal here.
I'm trying. A seal, an end, or beginning.
I'm sort of stuck on mark of death. Like, what is a mark of death?
Yeah, Mark of Death is kind of why I was going toward Doom or Crit or something, because like that's a literal mark of someone who's dead.
Yeah, I don't really think.
But you guys saying that was too that was like
Well, that's not a mark of death. It's a place where dead people are. I mean, I
It's
don't
also
know.
not the start of something more or a beginning.
Yeah, like I don't. Can we have a hint? No.
I would be willing to provide one.
oh
Okay. Well, I was gonna say it maybe one of our friends has an idea that could be a hint.
That is one way I could be granting hints. I have a different option also in mind.
No.
One of you can roll a perception check.
oh I'm good at that.
I mean,
Fair
I'm
enough.
I'm
So
aware
am
that
I.
I'm aware that because I'm good at that, it's probably going to be a fairly high DC. But at the same time, plus 14. I mean, that is as low as it can possibly get. Because I always say.
Mm-hmm.
I
For
assume
that,
this is-
For that, I will say that when the Gynosphinx said, "or the start of something more," she glanced over at her husband.
Marriage.
What?
So, it's a seal, which is a promise. The end of somebody being alone, and the beginning of a union. Some people consider it to be, and the mark of death is the hardest one to explain, but it makes sense to me. Like, it's the death of.
Well, why don't you guess it?
Yeah, I'm going to. Lake will turn around and go like, I would like to guess it is marriage.
Incorrect. But you're on the right track.
Okay.
Dearest, don't tell them. Don't tell them that. What? They've only answered one riddle so far. Very well.
I love this married Sphinx couple you've come up with. It is so good. We're on the right track. Maybe just love?
How would that be a mark of death,
It
though?
wouldn't be, though. That is, and it wouldn't be an end either.
Contract? I don't know.
I mean, that does seem plausible, I would assume.
I don't know. It seems a little.
The seals go on the contracts.
Yeah.
So what ways do you seal a contract?
Well, with a literal. I mean, Aurelia probably does it with a literal seal.
And also, like, when you contract assassins, that is a mark of death.
Wait. Is it a kiss?
Oh!
I mean, a kiss could be a mark of death.
It could be.
I don't know about. I mean, that seems like a very Earth-related connotation to it, but you know.
Well, keep in mind that I made these riddles for actual players, to challenge
Yes.
players and not characters.
Yes. Is it a kiss?
All right, you're asking this time.
Yes. I'm guessing. Is it a kiss?
She smiles and nods.
Nice.
Sealed with a kiss hello, a kiss farewell, the kiss of death, or the start of, well, something more. And she looks over at her husband again.
Aw.
Aurelia kisses Silky. So romantic.
Y'all are so sweet, it's sickening.
Just because you didn't bring your girlfriend doesn't mean that you get to make snide comments about
I'm
other.
not even going to address that statement.
If you're ready, my third and final riddle. To one with few options, I am all the world, but much has happened for the lack of me.
Choice?
Money.
No, but that doesn't make sense.
How
I mean,
does
yeah,
it not
money
make
maybe,
sense?
but well, I was gonna say choice, but then to one with few options, I'm like choice. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But for the lack of.
Yeah, revolutions and shit happen
I mean-
due to the lack of money.
Well, sure. I was talking about my
I know.
initial response. I mean, maybe money would sort of fit. I mean, you could guess it if you want,
Yeah, go ahead.
but
Yeah,
with few options.
I'm gonna turn around and go. I'm gonna guess money.
No, I'm looking for something a bit more specific than that.
Okay.
Hmm. To one with few options, I am all the world, but much has happened for the lack of me.
So more specific than money.
Which seems to suggest that maybe I was on the right track with money. Right there.
Hmm. So if you have few options,
I wonder if it is faith. If you
Yeah,
left him up, you look
that
to the
could
gods
maybe
and
fit.
pray.
That could fit this. That could fit as well. Yeah.
Or
Should I?
hope. No, faith is. I mean, things don't happen for the lack of faith. Yeah, I think faith is
Faith is a good fit.
possible.
Shall I?
But
Go for it.
Ash nods and turns around. Is the answer faith?
No. While faith can be important to one without options, it does not replace the world for them.
That is true.
Can I roll perception for a hint?
I was doing that, so that is a 27.
If you're asking for a hint, this time it comes from a different source.
Oh.
Yes, in this case, Silky is just rubbing her head and thinking and saying, I know there are a couple of old phrases I learned back when I was learning Common. And they had something in common, and this riddle reminds me of both of them. I cannot remember what they are.
Do you remember anything about them? Any of the words?
Well, all the world appears to be something when you don't have something, or when you do have something. But that's the only thing.
All the. God, when I think all the world, all I can think of is all the world's a stage. But I'm pretty sure that's not it.
Getting a little too method there.
All I'm thinking is when all you have is a hammer, everything's a nail, or
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that is not it.
No, but I'm trying to think of.
Hmm.
A horse, my kingdom for a horse. God damn it. What? All the world. When you.
Could you write down what Silky said real quick, if you don't mind?
God, what? Fuck, why is this so hard?
Because we're all dumb.
I'm not dumb.
I fucking suck at riddles.
Yeah,
I'm usually pretty good at riddles, but I don't know. Well, I mean, I did get the last two, sort of. Or did I come up with?
Yeah, you
I can't remember
you got the last.
if I was the one who. I mean, I know that Aurelia was the one who said it. I can't remember if I was the first person who suggested those things.
I came up with the one for the first one, though.
Did you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone with.
Yeah, I'm super stumped.
God, what?
Same.
Wait, okay, Bob, and when you have Silky reference a saying in common, this is referencing an actual saying in English, or like?
Yeah.
My God, why can't I think of what this is?
Oh, to someone with just a hammer, all the world looks like a nail.
That's all I can think of, but I don't know how to. I wonder if this is just something I've never heard before. Is this some obscure thing in wherever Bobbin's from? Minnesota? Are you from Minnesota? It's a regional expression.
Well, you do have several guesses left.
We do, I suppose. Well, I mean, I guess if the NPCs all get guesses, then we have like 5 guesses
That
left.
just happened for the lack of me. I don't think lack of hammers has caused
Wait,
a lot of things to happen.
wait. There is a saying about the lack of a nail, though. For want of a nail. Hold on, is it actually? Aurelia's gonna look over and sort of like look suspiciously. So, is it a nail?
Have you used your guess yet?
No, Aurelia hadn't guessed
Aurelia
yet.
hasn't guessed yet. It was just me and Grenade.
Okay. It is a nail.
God damn it.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
The
okay, so
one
there's...
with only
yeah,
a
sorry.
hammer, a nail. All the world appears to be a nail, but
God.
much happens for lack of a nail.
Mm-hmm. I think I might have gotten that faster if you had said, if the riddle had said for the want of that, because I associate that with the phrase for the want of a nail.
Well, exactly though.
Yeah.
The whole
Hate
point
this.
of these riddles are supposed to be hard. They're supposed to be hard.
I guess so, but this one seemed to be very specific in its references.
Yeah.
Okay, so out of character, I'm mind blown. So in character, Gunash does not understand what the hell just happened.
I hate this riddle. This is the worst riddle.
No.
I mean,
This is the 4th worst riddle. I think we're about to get to the top 3.
All right. Well, the important thing is Aurelia looks like a genius now because she's the one who's actually giving me guess all 3.
Well,
the nice one has to play somewhere.
well, the one who stated the guess at least.
Yes,
but,
that's what I mean. It's actually kind of unfair to take credit for all of it, but
plus, you have no reason to be quiet in your deliberations, so the sphinxes have heard everything.
mm-hmm.
Anyway, so that on reciting the aphorisms that riddle is based on, the Gyna Sphinx smiles next to her husband and says, "You have answered my wife's questions, or riddles. Now you must answer mine."
Crap.
What is in my pocket?
2 trains leave from opposite ends of the country.
Oh God.
Too much, and you will drown. Too little, and your addiction shall be your undoing.
Huh.
I mean, I feel like you could actually just take this one literally.
Water?
I mean, alcohol? People don't generally get addicted to water.
No, I mean, yes. You're reliant on water.
Yeah.
Too little water and you will die of thirst.
I suppose. All right, well, go ahead and guess water then.
Yeah, okay, is it water?
It is, although I would have also accepted alcohol. Sometimes riddles have more than one answer.
Cool.
Okay, we get it.
Squares on squares on squares. You'll need at least 6 to store your wares.
What?
Squares on squares. You'll need at least
It's a
6 to store your
box.
rice.
It's a box.
It's a box.
Is it a box?
Yes. I also would have accepted cube or crate.
I don't want to be insulting, but I feel like these aren't quite as clever as your wife's.
No,
Don't say it to his face.
don't say it to his face.
The thing about riddles is that whether it's easy or hard depends on who you are and what you've been doing recently. But reserve your judgment until you've heard the last one.
Yeah.
All right.
How dare you damn us?
Wait, let me guess. What walks on 4 legs in the morning?
No. Shit.
The Sphinx rolls his eyes. That one was ancient when we were young. My first is my last, and all in between. But remove just one letter, and the meaning is lost. I am a symbol of strength, yet also of weakness. Give me your hands, and I will never let go.
My first is
Just
my
had to say something.
and all in between.
Don't worry. This one was going to happen regardless. Don't worry. This was the last question, no matter what. Or riddle, no matter what.
It doesn't fit. Oh! Handcuffs. If you remove just one, then your other hand's completely free. That doesn't mean anything. Symbol strength from the cost, but weakness because you can't do anything about being trapped. And give me your hands and I will never let go. I'm gonna turn around.
Okay, but what about the first is my last and all in between?
Oh, I forgot. I didn't know that was part of that.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah,
You tried.
sorry about that. I can't really help how it
Okay.
appears on the screen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so my
Chains?
first is my last and all in between, but remove just one and the meaning is lost.
Chains?
Yeah, I mean, chains would make more sense probably.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn around.
I thought my first is my last and all in between, but remove just.
Yeah.
Yeah, a
Chains.
chain.
I'm gonna turn around. Is it a chain?
It is indeed a chain.
Hey,
Yeah.
I got one.
The first half of the riddle is a misdirection to make you think that it is a word when it is really a series of O's.
Yeah.
Very well.
You did it.
Well, that was a good one. I like that one.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for, the negative comparison to your wife's. You're both very, very good riddle makers.
Well, don't worry about it. I'll make sure he remembers this until the next visitors arrive. And the Andrew Sphinx rolls his eyes again. But I believe this flag is yours now.
Thank you.
Holds it out.
I'll take it. Thank you.
And I think Aurelia should take it, actually.
Oh, I was gonna hand it to her.
I I mean, I don't think it matters which one of us is physically holding the flag at this exact moment. I'm fine with like holding on to it.
Thank you.
Aurelia will presumably be the one to take it to Ulgaroth. Although I suppose other people could come as well if they wanted. But it will take her like a day or so because she has to take a long rest before she can. Yeah.
Fine, I can think of worse things to do than spend a day with Ulgaroth.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, going to the Abyss to meet Demogorgon.
But with no combat to perform, and I did have something all lined up just in case you guys went with the other option or got stumped.
Wait, I
Nothing
feel
stops you.
I feel those were probably close.
Well, nothing stops you from heading back to your ship, taking off back into wild space. And aside from Aurelia and friends taking a moment to head back to Mynth to drop off the flag, you resume your intended path of just sort of cruising along through the Storal belt on your way to Kethlo.
Mm-hmm.
However, you haven't yet made it to the Storal belt when Aurelia receives a message from Harvey.
Okay.
Ascending, specifically. So you have the option of responding with up to 25 words.
All right.
Smugglers found a Storal flag and will auction it off soon. We can't match Skrull or Elf cash, so we'll need to steal it.
Heist.
Is that what you respond?
No.
just the word heist 25 times.
All right. He didn't include any location information there, did he? Although I guess we could scry him and.
Yeah, and you can always cast another sending. They're only 3rd level.
Oh yeah, fair enough. Well, sounds like we can do that. Although I don't know. Well, regardless of where he is, it's probably worth it unless he's like on the exact opposite edge of the belt. All right, I'll send back all right. We'll be on our way. Send any relevant further details, please. Heist.
You still have 9 more heists that you can say.
I think he got the gist.
Okay.
All right, you get another sending in response. You did bring an item from the Independence with you, right? Just teleport over here. Keep your ship going to...
Oh, right. That thing that we arranged. We did say we were going to do that.
Yeah.
Also, for the record, I mean, I already said I was going to do it, but I do take like a rock or something from Pelth, just in case, for whatever reason, we need to teleport back there. It's probably not very useful because there probably isn't a flag on the same moon, but you know what? Whatever.
Yeah.
Although, actually, if you can see one moon from another moon... Okay. Anyway,
Then you probably won't see any ships because they're incomprehensibly smaller.
Yes. I was thinking if you could teleport from one moon to another moon. I forget how teleport works. But anyway, all right, just in case I will, though. I don't know, maybe we can go hang out with the sphinxes if we get bored. All right. Yeah. Let's all just teleport over there. We can keep
And
the
if
ship
you-
running.
And if you never need it, you can always add it to Lily's pile of souvenirs.
True. All right. Let's head over to
Feel called
the
out.
ship that is apparently called the Independence. Lame name. Not as cool as Saffron Lady.
I believe you guys all agree on that back when you requisitioned the Man of War.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did, but
Yeah.
It's cool as Saffron Lady.
So,
Is this the fucking space base from Aliens?
no.
Okay.
Although it's probably based on the same sort of technology era.
Yeah,
Um,
that's why I immediately jumped to Aliens.
Anyway, so you rather abruptly find yourselves in the Storal Belt on the deck of the Man of War Independence. Now,
Now, why is there such a thing as a man of war but not a woman of war? That's my question.
take it up with the elves.
I think I will.
Yeah, Harvey is not present, but then he is the only mage on this ship, so he was probably on the helm.
That makes sense.
So it's been about to get there to there. Between 2 to 3 weeks have passed since the race began. And as you enter the helm chamber of the Man of War, Harvey, not getting up because he's still on the helm, says, "I'm glad you could get here so quickly. Things are moving pretty fast. I didn't actually have to search the Storal Belt very long before I got wind about this auction that's going to be happening soon. The Storal Belt is actually full of a variety of pirate gangs and smugglers and other sorts who would rather avoid the authorities who live on the actual planets. As such, when one of them found a flag, they smelled a business opportunity. It's going to take some flying to get to the right asteroid where they're holding the auction, and presumably keeping the flag, but then if they're actually smart, it might still be a few asteroids away from that one.
Well, we should be able to scry it pretty easily, right?
Yeah, but around here, around the asteroids, there aren't that much in the way of landmarks.
True. Are these, I have to ask Bob, are these asteroids like realistically far apart, or are they like, general science fiction far apart?
They are realistically far apart.
Oh, fuck, okay.
However, there are a considerable number of them, and spelljammers move extremely fast by normal physics standards. And so you can get like within a couple, you can move like a couple of degrees around the Storal orbit in a day in a spelljammer.
Right.
And so you can find a fair number of asteroids in that time.
Okay.
Well, seems my locate object would get some use again.
So I have to ask Harvey, do you already have a plan in mind for sealing this thing, or are we gonna come up with that now?
Well, my idea would be to dominate the minds of anybody important enough to know where it actually is, make them tell us where it is, get away from anybody who wants to stop us, get the flag, and then get the hells out of here.
That is a solid plan.
That is a
Yeah,
very
that does
solid
make
plan.
sense.
Unfortunately, it's hard to say just what kind of defenses they might have. It could be some sort of hardened location that protects them from assault from space. And could be some sort of magical defenses that will keep
And that's how Bobbin died.
There is one benefit to being out here, as opposed to back on Mynth. The only place with that damnable iron of yours is on the planet. Which means my psychic abilities will actually work just fine out here.
Convenient.
I know. All right, and at this time you do have an opportunity to ask more guides, learn more about the situation, and come up with your own concepts for plans.
All right. Okay, so where and when is the assume some kind of auction, like?
Well, they've spread the word in order to get as many participants as possible to hear about it. The auction is going to start pretty much as soon as 3 or 4 of the factions show up in order to bid.
Hmm.
And
So we
we're
need to
close
move immediately.
Pretty much. From what I understand, the elves have already sent someone. And the pirates are not that far behind us. So if you wanted to make an official appearance, you could possibly trigger the auction early.
Yeah, so I feel like the sort of 2 avenues open to us, broadly speaking, are to, pretend to participate in the auction to some extent as a cover for stealing it, or to just say fuck that and try to steal it before the auction even happens, or maybe even during or after the auction if we want, although that'll probably be more likely to bring suspicion onto us, but
this
might be easier.
This might complicate matters as well. The pirates are also damn well aware that they can't outbid the elves either.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that, actually. I can't imagine that they would have the resources to do that, so...
Yeah, they're probably doing the same thing we're gonna do.
This will be fun.
That honestly, that might make it easier.
I can't imagine the pirates doing anything other than turning this into a giant shit show.
I mean, if there's not at least one triple cross by the end of this,
I mean, if the pirates get their attention and then we slip in while they causing the distraction. Did we actually pick up any diamond dust?
Why?
You can always pick up some diamond dust in between in between adventures. Plus, thanks to teleportation, you can always go on a supply run pretty much at any time during the race.
Yeah, as I say, I'm surprised you don't just keep some on yourself at all times.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you need diamond dust for?
Well, once we have it, we can use non-detection to make sure nobody else can trace us. At least trace the flag.
Does that actually work? I thought that like these were so enchanty that well, I mean, regardless.
They did not specify whether non-detection could override the extra detectability.
Fair.
You would have to take a risk and find out for yourself.
Plus, it's not like it will matter much because as soon as we get to our ship, we're teleporting the flag to Olgaroth to keep an eye on it anyway.
Well,
you don't even need to get back to your ship.
That's true.
Yeah.
We don't even need to get back to the ship. We could just grab it and teleport to Olgaroth.
yeah, pretty much. All right. Okay, so I am considering another option, which might be suboptimal, but also I could see being kind of fun, which is we wait for the pirates to steal it and then steal it from them, or steal it at the same time they're trying to steal it.
That would be pretty fun and funny. But also,
On the
I
other
don't
hand,
want to
it
kill
might-
the pirates. They're cool. I like them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't actually want to fight them, so I feel like I would only want to do that if we could arrange a circumstance where we could steal it from them, in a stylish but non violent way.
Yeah,
Well, keep in
like,
mind
for
that
example- Yeah.
keeping things non-violent in 5th edition is relatively easy.
yeah.
Just make
Yeah.
sure that the last blow is with a melee weapon and declare that you do not intend to kill them with this final blow.
Well, that's non-lethal, not non-violent. That's still pretty violent.
Well, yeah, but I'm just making sure you
Yeah,
have
no,
the options.
That's true. I meant more, I don't want to fight them. I just want to, sneakily steal it. Basically, I want to set up the end of a heist movie where it's revealed at the last moment that actually we planned everything out from the start and we steal it from, we've
None
already
of us-
stolen it from
No.
underneath their noses.
Well, either the last part of a heist movie or the first part of Indiana Jones. There is nothing that you can have, Dr. Jones, that I cannot take away.
God, I need to rewatch those movies again.
You don't need to rewatch the second one.
Yeah, true. I don't need to rewatch Temple of Doom.
Yeah, the second one's pretty, racist, isn't it?
It's racist and sexist.
And also just terrible on universal merits.
Yeah.
Oh, fair.
Never forget that the Kali Ma thing is actually an allusion to fucking Lucas's divorce.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's...
He was going through a really messy divorce when they're making Temple of Doom, which explains a lot of things about it.
Yes.
Like the woman that Indiana Jones was forced to hang out with.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Which actually, that's where Spielberg met his current wife. Was on the set of that.
Mm-hmm. Remember when George Lucas and Steven Spielberg had a discussion about how they wanted Indiana Jones to have an affair with a 13-year-old? That was cool. Anyway,
That derailed quite a bit.
back to
Back to the fun heist planning.
yes, the
Yeah,
fun
back to the
heist
heist.
planning.
Okay, so do we want to watch the pirates go in and then we sneak in?
I mean, I don't know if that's actually the best plan. To be fair.
No, I would prefer to either get in and steal it before the pirates get to it. That is my preference. I don't want to run into the pirates at all. I don't want to fight them because they're cool.
Okay, so we either I guess we either take the interrogation route where we find someone who knows where it is, or I could attempt again to locate it.
Honestly,
Yeah,
if,
1,000 miles does not really cover the kinds of distances you would have to search.
yeah.
I'd
Yeah,
say interrogation, then a quick smash and grab.
Yeah, interrogation and
Yeah.
quick smash and grab sounds like our best, fastest, and most likely to succeed plan.
Right. So, do we have a lead on someone who knows where it would be?
Well, I can tell you exactly where the auction is supposed to be.
All right.
That was included in the rumor that's been passed around. It's not too far away from here. We should be able to get there in under a week.
All right.
And incidentally, Harvey had, in an impeccable show of logic, gone straight out from Mynth to the Storal Belt and started searching it counterclockwise. And so, in terms of the Mynth space map, you are currently pretty much on the right side of the Storal orbit.
Okay. Sounds good.
Right?
And when he says it's about a week away, that means that it's in sort of the east-northeast from the center.
So like 2-3 o'clock. No, like so like 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock, yes.
2 o'clock would be east northeast. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm tired.
All right. Well, let's go then. I guess I'm still torn of like, should we pretend to be interested in the auction? Will that actually get us anywhere?
Probably not.
Yeah, like, well, I mean, maybe it might be useful to like get alone with a guy or something.
Only way I could see that benefiting us is if we beat the pirates there and we are the last people they are willing to wait before starting the auction, so that way we don't even have to deal with the pirates at all. But aside from that, I don't see any benefit to pretending to be interested.
All right, well, let's go then, and let's see what we find, basically.
All right. Well, I am going to have to call the session there because I wanted to get your impression of a plan before developing the Storal episode.
Oh, fair enough.
That's fair, yeah.
Did
There's
I
a
give you enough of an impression of a plan?
Yes, and like most heist plans, it's not going to be that easy.
Well, yeah,
course.
obviously. It's not
There's no such thing as a milk run.
It's not a good heist if something doesn't go catastrophically wrong at some point.
Right, but then it turns out that thing going catastrophically wrong was actually part of the plan.
Yes.
Only if it's anime.
Only if it's a bad heist movie.
Yeah, I suppose.
So expect me to be the fuck up.
No, it's me. 100% going to be me.
You say as my dice rolls have not been good at all today.
True. And you have foresight, so I will be fucking up a lot less.
Yeah, I mean, some of us were just born with foresight, but I guess.
And one other bit of bookkeeping is that Silky does have to stay behind on the Saffron Lady.
Aww.
Someone still needs to pilot the ship, and she is enough of a spellcaster to do so.
All right.
I was wondering how that was working. We were all going.
To be honest, I kind of thought that the ship might be able to, like, not need a pilot while
Get
it's
by on inertia.
in space. Because, I mean, it's not going to fall to the ground. It's in space.
No, just keep going.
Sadly,
on
real-world
inertia.
physics do not always apply.
Fair enough.
Damn it!
Wow, it's
Fucking
almost like these
Spelljammers.
fucking universe is fantasy and fake and bullshit, and Magic has no
Fucking
consistent rules.
Spelljammers don't understand the concept of inertia. Garbage ships for garbage people.